Hey guys, it's Sydney here and welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be sharing with you guys my list of 5 cons and 5 pros about being a teen mom. I also just want to say I love being a mom. It is the best thing that has ever happened to me. Obviously there are many good points to being a mom. I'm not going to be talking about specifically being a mom. I'm going to be specifically comparing being a teen mom to, say, 30 years old when you're a mom. So as I said, 5 cons, 5 pros of being a teen mom. If you want to see that, just keep on watching and we'll just jump on into the video. Okay, so I'm going to start with the 5 cons. The first one is finances. I mean, this is a pretty obvious one. When you're, say, 30 years old, you're obviously going to have studied or built up a career or done whatever it is you do, but you're generally in a good financial position. You've had a lot of time to save your money. Whereas when you're a teen mom, you're just, whether it's you're still in high school, you're just getting out of high school, you don't really have any sort of career going. So you don't really have any sort of good financial backing. And in my case, I just finished high school when I got pregnant. I was working in hospitality. I then got a job in admin. I mean, I was just above minimum wage. I'm still only just above minimum wage, which is really good in New Zealand, but it's still not a lot of money. Also, Connor's doing an electrical apprenticeship, which again, he's doing an apprenticeship, so it's not tons of money. So we haven't had a lot of time to really establish ourselves in the world with careers yet, so that we have a strong income. The other side of it with finances is obviously a home. Having the security of a home is like one of the biggest things I think I've focused on anyway since becoming a parent. I want to have a room for my kid. I want to have a master bedroom for myself. I don't know, I feel like when you become a mum, you kind of grow up a little bit and your priorities change a bit. When you're, say, 30 years old, you normally have either bought a house or you're looking at buying a house, or that's kind of on the horizon. So I definitely think that is a massive difference between being a teen mom and, say, age 30. The second con I want to talk about, which I haven't personally faced a whole lot of, but I definitely think is a very big con around being a teen mom, and that is judgment. Now, when I say judgment, I mean those looks you get from people. Now, I'm not saying that everyone is judgmental of teen moms. I just think, I mean, I did get this a lot when I was pregnant, not so much now, but I definitely got a few looks when I was pregnant from people just walking past me when I was at the shop, seeing obviously a belly and kind of trying to figure out how old I am, and they do judge you a bit. I haven't had any friends or family judge me at all, which has been really great, and that's obviously the biggest thing. But obviously when you're 30, you're never going to be judged for having a kid. You know, you do get the opposite spectrum if you're, say, 55 and you're having a kid, but on those like two extremes, teen and then quite a bit older, you do get a bit of judgment from people. People kind of stereotype teen moms as not being as good of moms, when it's like, at the end of the day, we're all parents, you know, we're all learning as we go. And I don't think your age really matters in terms of how good you are at parenting at all. But I do definitely feel like in that teen age bracket, you do face a lot more judgment from the world, from peers. As I say, me personally, I haven't faced a lot of it, so I've been really lucky. The third con I want to talk about is career advancement. Normally, when you're a teen mom, you're either still in high school or you've just finished high school. So you haven't actually had a chance to go to university, to work your way up in a job. So this kind of goes hand in hand with the finances, but you haven't really had the opportunity yet in life to build your kind of career up anywhere. That does get put on hold a bit because your priorities shift from doing that sort of thing to obviously raising a kid. I mean, when I finished high school, I didn't have a plan. I was like, not going to go to uni just for the sake of it, so I'm just going to work. So for me, I mean, it didn't alter my plans too much straight after high school. It does mean that I have to take a step back, that if I want to go to university and study now, or if I want to, say, get into admin and work my way up, I can't really do that because the hours don't really match up with what works in my lifestyle with Connor and with Jaden. You know, I would need it to be after hours. You do kind of take a step back for a few years, I feel like, whereas obviously if you're older, you would have already done all of that sort of stuff. All it really means is you're going to be starting your career a bit later in life, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. People change their careers at like 40 all the time, you know, it's not uncommon to kind of start that later. And honestly, like, my focus, as I say now, is Jaden. It's not on myself or my career. So it's not a massive one for me, but it is a massive difference in terms of being 30 to a teen mom. Okay, con number 4 is growing up too fast, which can then cause you to miss out on opportunities that other people your age would have. This one was a big one for me when I was pregnant. Now, in terms of growing up too fast, I think, yes, it does force you to grow up very quickly because it's no longer about you, it's about a kid. But I was always quite responsible and I was always on the more mature sort of bracket for my age group, I would say anyway, and I think a lot of people around me would say. So, I mean, in terms of maturing, I was already kind of mature, so it wasn't like it was a massive jump for me to go from having to take care of myself to having to take care of another person. So I don't think that was such a big thing for me, but it obviously is quite a big thing for teen moms. But I think the thing for me was because I had to grow up too fast, I did miss out on a lot. When I was pregnant, this used to bother me a lot because obviously you can't drink, and there were a lot of 18ths going on, there were a lot of 21st going on, which are all really big birthdays, and I would still go along to show face, but I wasn't really enjoying it at the beginning because I couldn't join in and I couldn't do this and I couldn't do that. And kind of towards the end of my pregnancy, I thought I can be sober. I don't need alcohol. Alcoholic. But, then I started to kind of go and dance and, just have fun with it. And even now, I mean, it doesn't bother me so much that my friends go out because when I can go out, I do. And my life, as I say, my priorities have completely shifted. So it's not a big dwelling on me anymore. But you do, it is harder to see people and to do things with your friends and to maintain relationships, I would say. So con number 5 is your kids being older than all of your close friends' kids. Basically what I mean by this is I've obviously had Jaden when I was 19 and my friends may not start having kids till they're say 25. So Jaden's going to be 6 when these other kids are born. So they're not going to get to grow up together, which I think when you're younger and you talk about having kids and stuff, that's what you want to do. You want to raise your kids together with your friends, or at least that's what me and my friends used to talk about. Don't know why. But yeah, it's definitely, I always kind of imagined all of our kids growing up together and us all going through parenting together, and we don't really get to do that. But I guess for them, it'll be good to have someone that's kind of done it all and they can bounce off. And the other side of it is I've met a lot of moms. I've got a really good friend who I did meet through Jaden and we're really close now. So your friend group does grow and you do meet new people that have the same sort of interests. But yeah, I thought I would throw that one in there because I did always want my kids to grow up with my really close friends' kids, but they'll still get to, there'll just be quite a big age gap, which isn't the end of the world, First world problems. Okay, so now that we've got the cons out the way, let's jump into the pros. And I could go on and on about the pros about being a mom, but I just want to talk about the actual pros of specifically being a teen mom. So pro number 1 is being closer in age to your child. It means that you get to grow up together. I mean, I've already done a lot of my growing, but when you're a parent, you're constantly learning, and I definitely think it's really fun when you kind of get to become your own person while you raise a little person. And it kind of shapes you. When you're little, the people around you really shape you into who you are. And I think being a younger mom, he kind of helps to shape me and he makes me want to better myself. So that's a lot of fun. I also do think that being closer to his age is going to make us more relatable to each other as he gets older. It's not going to be such an age gap like, say, if you were 40 years old and you were having a kid and then there's a 40-year age gap. It's not such a drastic age gap where I can't relate to my kid and I'm going to be involved in like the current technology and I don't want to be that mom that's like the kid shows you something and you're like, what's that? Or like they tell you a joke and it's like, huh? Yeah, I mean, I sort of already am like that because I'm not really involved in that sort of stuff, but we try our best. Okay, pro number 2 is having more energy. This is really self-explanatory. I'm talking about both physically and mentally. Obviously, I want to be able to run around with my kid. I want to go kick a ball in the field. I want to be active and involved. And I definitely feel like when you're younger, you still have that sort of energy. And when I talk about mentally, I mean, you've still got the mental energy to actually play with your kid and be imaginative and join in their silly little games that they play. I mean, we all know what kids do. They make up fairy tales. And when you're younger, you're still kind of mentally younger and you kind of have that energy to deal with that and to just go with the flow, which I think is going to be really fun as Jaden gets older. Okay, pro number 3, I'm going to say, is having a almost do-over when you're older. Not that I want like a redo of life, but by the time that I think it's I'll be 38 or something-ish. Jaden will be 18, which means in New Zealand he's technically an adult. He'll be moving on with his life, and I've still got a good 20 years of travel and doing whatever it is that I want to do. I still have that time after, whereas when you're a bit older and you're a parent, you're kind of getting to that stage where you're thinking about retirement and, you know, you're getting to the... This sounds really bad, but you're getting to the end of your life, whereas by the time Jaden's an adult, I'll be just kind of starting my adult life. It's kind of like I get another chance at doing all the stuff that I'm not really getting to do now. Okay, pro number 4 is having a kid at a younger age gives you purpose. Now, having a kid in general gives you purpose. Obviously, it's a person to take care of, to raise, to love. But what I mean by this is specifically when you're younger, I feel like when you leave high school, unless you're one of those kids that go through high school and go, yep, I want to be a lawyer, or yep, I want to be a doctor, and you go to uni and you do that. Great. Awesome if that's you. But someone like me, I was not 100% sure. And as I've said, I didn't want to just go throw away thousands of dollars on school and then not use it. So I feel like for me, I was feeling a bit lost after high school, and I feel like that happens to a lot of people. And having Jaden has given me something to do every day, you know. I'm raising a kid. That's what I'm doing for the next 20 years. And that's my purpose in life now. I'm not saying go get pregnant so that you have a life purpose. I'm just saying that it's given me purpose and it's given me meaning to life, which I didn't really have before because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't have anything to work towards, whereas now I do. Okay, and pro number 5 is not really related to the baby, but it's related to after labor. Pro number 5 is having an easier recovery after labor. Now, I think my midwife, don't quote me on this, but I think my midwife had told me that 18 is the best time in terms of your body's recovery to have a kid. She's not recommending go out and get pregnant at 18. She just said in terms of how your body recovers, 18 is like the best age for it. So obviously I was 18 when I was pregnant and I just turned 19 when I had Jaden. So I was kind of at the peak of recovery age in terms of recovery afterwards, and I do feel like, I mean, I don't know, I only have my own experience, but I feel like from where I was, I've bounced back really quickly. The first 6 weeks are really hard after labor. Obviously, no matter what age you are, you're gonna struggle because everything's just been thrown out of whack and gone a big screw you. You know, your body does not love you. But I definitely feel like in terms of losing the weight, in terms of getting my momentum back, in terms of not being super exhausted every single day, I definitely feel like I've recovered quite quickly. Again, I don't have anything to compare this to, but I mean, really, if you think about it, the younger you are, the quicker you heal, the more energy you have, the easier you bounce back. That's just in general with anything, whether that be an injury or labor or whatever it is. So I definitely feel like I bounce back pretty quickly. And I definitely feel like that is one of the benefits of being younger. And obviously as well, your skin is still young, so it's gonna all kind of back in slowly, but it does eventually sort of kind of get there. And your skin isn't gonna scar as bad from stretch marks and all that fun stuff. Okay, so that's it for my top 5 pros and cons of being a teen mom. Again, I really love being a mother. I think it is the best thing that has ever happened to me. And I wouldn't say that anything about motherhood is awful, you know. This is just comparing being a teen mom to an older mom about what's harder for us and what's better for us. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like so I know you did enjoy it, and subscribe if you want to see more. I post once a week, and I'm going to end it there and say goodbye. I'll see you next week.